Today I will be teaching you how to bake oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. My family loves when I bake these cookies. Unfortunately, it isn't my recipe, but I love to bake and eat them. I'm the one that bakes them because no one wants to. They just want to eat them without all the hard work going into it. I've baked these multiple times and know what to do and what not to do. The ultimate goal of baking these cookies is that they're edible. You don't want them to be burnt and gross. So, jumping right in, we'll start off with what measuring cups you'll need. You'll need the 1/2 cup, 3/4 cup, and the 1 cup. And for teaspoons and tablespoons, you'll need your tablespoon and just your teaspoon. As far as the ingredients go, you will need chocolate chips, semi-sweet chocolate chips, salt, unsalted butter, honey, 2 eggs, oats, baking soda, light brown sugar, vanilla, cinnamon, flour and sugar, which are in the corner. As for tools, you will need 1 large bowl, 1 medium to small size bowl, an electric mixer with the attachments or a standing mixer, as well as a whisk. Jumping right in, we're going to start off by mixing our dry ingredients, which includes the flour, cinnamon, baking soda, salt in 1 bowl. I've mixed all the dry ingredients together with the whisk, and now it is on 2 wet ingredients, which will be put into this bowl. For this step, you'll want to soften your butter in the microwave. It just has to be soft, not totally melted. And you'll just be putting your butter into this big bowl and then put it into the microwave. After your butter is softened, you will need to get your electric or stand mixer and beat the butter until it's all smooth for about a minute. It should be about like this consistency. And for the next step, you will want to grab your light brown sugar and your granulated sugar. And for the brown sugar, you want it to be packed down so there's no fluffy brown sugar. You want it to be all packed down. You will incorporate both your brown sugar and white granulated sugar into the bowl with the butter in it. And you will beat this for about 2 minutes, and it is called creaming. And in an article by Annalise of Completely Delicious, she states that creaming the butter and the sugar is essential because it aerates the dough, creating air pockets that puff up in the oven, which makes a nice and fluffy cookie. I forgot to say this in the beginning, but you will also need a rubber spatula so you can scrape down the sides of the bowl, and this is essential for this step and later on steps. This is what your mixture should look like, and after this is all mixed, you will want to add your honey, vanilla, and your eggs, and you'll want to beat this for about a minute or until it's well combined. We add in the honey because in an article posted by the National Honey Board, they exclaimed that honey is used for retaining moisture to ensure that your cookies come out of the oven with the perfect mouthfeel and crumble. So it just adds texture and sweetness to your cookie. I'm scraping down the sides in between mixing so that you can get all the sides incorporated into the final mixture. After mixing, this is what your dough should probably look like, similar to this. It looks all well combined. And our next step will be to add the dry ingredients into here. You'll add the dry ingredients in about 2 to 3 measurements, like you dump it in, not all the way though, and then you'll mix it, and then when it's all well combined, you will just keep adding your dry ingredients into the wet ingredients. At the last stage of mixing in your dry ingredients, the dough will be really firm and it will be really hard to maneuver the electric mixer because the dough has gotten so stiff. So don't be worried about that. It's supposed to be like that. Your mixture, after including the dry ingredients, should look about like this. And the next step is to add in your oats and your chocolate chips, and you'll want to beat this on low on your electric mixer, or you could use your spatula to incorporate all of the oats and chocolate chips. And for me, it calls for 3 cups of oats. I put in 1 cup of oats, then mix, and then the other cup, mix, and then the other cup, and then mix. And then I put all the chocolate chips in at once at the end. And it will get really hard to mix around because it will be so thick, but that's supposed to be like that because of the oats. This is what your mixture will look like after incorporating all 3 cups of oats. And for the chocolate chips, I have mini and regular size. So it calls for 1 1/3 cups of chocolate chips. You could either do 1 3/4 cup of your regular, or what I'm doing is 1 cup and then the 3/4 cup is the mini chocolate chips. Now your mixture should look like this. It's very heavy and sticky and thick, and you will want to put this in the fridge covered for about 30 to 45 minutes. And by doing this, according to Jessie Sizitska, she describes that by chilling the dough before baking allows for the butter to chill and firm up in the cookies, preventing spreading in the oven so they're more thicker cookies. And while they're chilling, you can preheat your oven to 350 degrees. And another tool that you will need is your baking sheet and parchment paper if you don't want to get your baking sheet all dirty. So that is another tool you will need, as well as either your hands or a spoon to scoop out the dough after it is all chilled. Now that our dough is chilled, it will just look like the same, it's just colder. I'm going to grab a spoon and get about like this much, and make sure your hands are clean, and then you're just going to put it on your baking sheet, and it'll be like you'll have 6 cookies, so 2 rows of 3, and you'll just want to keep doing the same process. This is what they look like. They're just big balls of dough, and you are gonna want to put these in the oven for about 13 to 14 minutes or until they are lightly browned around the corners. This is the final product of your cookies. As you can tell, it's lighter in the middle and it's brown on the outside. I hope you enjoy these cookies as much as I'm about to. Thank you.